Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's going to be something a little bit different than what I normally film. I had quite a few things from Physicians Formula that I've hauled that I just haven't tried out yet. And I did just try out the Healthy Foundation, which I did a full video doing a wear test and review on this foundation, so make sure you check it out. It is definitely like my new favorite. But anyways, so I have this little tray full of stuff. Some of it I've tried, some of it I haven't. So I decided, I feel like it's taken me a long time to get to the point, right? So I thought it would be cool to sit down and go through everything that I have from Physicians Formula and let you know like my thoughts about each product, whether I feel like you should go out and buy it or save your money. So this is going to be like the best and worst of Physicians Formula, obviously, in my opinion. If you like some of the stuff that I don't like, that's cool. Like, not all these products work for everybody, but I thought it would just be a fun video to do, and also kind of like a declutter video, like a mini declutter, because I have so much makeup. I need to start giving some stuff away before it expires, so that is what I'm gonna do with the stuff that I don't like. Anyways, so if you would like to see my thoughts on some Physicians Formula makeup, please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be trying out is the Physicians Formula Spotlight Illuminating Primer. This says with age-defying actives, and that's it, because I always throw the package away because I suck at life. So I've never tried this before. I do like illuminating primers because I do have dry skin, so I just took about 2 pumps right there. I mean, it feels nice in my hands. Got a pimple on my nose. Just call me Rudolph. The smell of this is weird. Yeah, it has a really weird smell to it. Ooh. Look at all that glow it gave me. And it's like sticky. This reminds me of the Becca Backlight Primer, but I feel like this is more luminous. Like, I feel like this gave me more of a glow than the Becca one. Okay, like, I feel like with primers, I could take it or leave it. Honestly, unless my skin is really dry, hydrating primers really help out. But other than that, I'm just kind of like on the fence about primers in general. But I like this, and this is way cheaper than this guy. So like I said in the beginning, I went around and I collected everything that I have from Physicians Formula. The only thing I'm missing is I'm missing a loose powder to set my makeup, I'm missing brows, and I'm missing like an eyeshadow palette, and I'm missing mascara. So those are the things I'm gonna have to use, you know, something other than Physicians Formula. So anyway, so now I'm gonna go in with the Healthy Foundation. I love this stuff. The only thing I don't like is the applicator. It is a doe foot, but I really like how it looks on my skin. So, but I feel like you just have to keep going in and out of the tube, and like I just feel like I'm getting germs everywhere, you know? And then I'm just gonna blend that in with my L'Oreal sponge. I had to throw away my LA Girl sponge. That was like my favorite because I popped my nail through it, and then it was just all over after that. But I forgot how much I liked the L'Oreal sponge, so I busted this guy out again. It's so good. I really like this primer. Like, I love all the glow it gave. I think it would be perfect for those no makeup days if you just want to put on some moisturizer and like a facial spray and then pop that primer on. I absolutely love this foundation. Oh, I guess I should tell you what shade I'm using. This is MN3, so medium neutral 3. Okay, now I have this. I went ahead and opened it. I haven't tried it. This is the Full Coverage Concealer, the Insta Ready one. Has SPF of 30. I got the shade Fair. What else? Full coverage, weightless, long wearing, hides imperfections, budge resistant. So I went ahead and opened it because I wanted to get the sponge out of there so I could get it wet, and it didn't get any bigger than what it was, so it feels a little bit dense, but we'll see. I normally like to blend my concealer out with a brush and then go over it with a sponge, so that's probably what I'm going to do. But this is what this little guy looks like. He reminds me of the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, just the container anyways, and it has a pump just like the MAC. So this would be cool if this was a dupe for the MAC Pro Longwear because it's cheaper. And I feel like we already found a dupe for the Becca Backlight Primer with the Physicians Spotlight Primer. So let's see. So it is kind of thick. It doesn't feel as thick though as the MAC Pro Longwear concealer. But I do like this shade. It feels a little bit more creamier than the MAC Pro Longwear concealer. But this looks like it's gonna dry fast, so I'm gonna work quickly. I feel like a little bit goes a long way with this stuff too. So I'm going to use my brush. This is the Morphe E45. I always use this to press in my concealer and then I go back in with a sponge. So then we'll try out that little tiny guy. I like this concealer. Ooh, yeah, and I didn't even have to use like an under eye corrector because I always use like a salmon under eye corrector and I did not use one. So I'm going to try out this little guy. It does have a slanted edge, so I'm just going to dip into the concealer and then blend it out. I mean, the sponge comes in the thing for free, so cool, but I don't think this is not something I would buy. But I don't really like these tiny sponges. I remember I bought the little tiny micro sponges from Beauty Blender when they first came out, and I hated them. The only time I liked them was when I was freelancing, and it made it easier for me to apply concealer to somebody else, but I hated them for myself. So yeah, this is probably not something that I would grab again, because I just don't like it. But I love this concealer. Do they have loose powder for Physicians Formula? Like a translucent setting one? I would be interested in that. I'm just going to use my bigger sponge for the rest of my face. You know what? This might actually be good to bake your under eyes. Because I don't really like... Well, I have acrylics too, so it's harder to do stuff with, but... Alright, so far we are 0 for 2 or 2 for 0. I don't know, but I really like the concealer and the primer so far, so... Is that 2 for 0? I don't know. I'm going to have to set my face. Yeah, because I'm sticky. I'm just going to use my La Prairie loose powder. I'm trying to use this up because, like, I'm just tired of it, honestly. This stuff is so incredibly messy. So next, I'm just going to lightly set my under eyes with my Wet n Wild bronzer. Yeah, right. I don't know why they're calling it that. This is the Reserve Your Cabana. Next up, I'm going to be trying out the bronze booster. This is the Matte Sculpting Instant and Lasting Matte Finish Highlight and Contour Palette. This is what it looks like right here. I've heard really good things about it. I guess I could have used that lighter shade to set my concealer. I'll use that to set the center of my face. So this is what the palette looks like. And then I believe there's a brush. Yes. Should we try the brush? So you open up the back and there's a mirror and a brush. I mean, well, it's pretty flimsy. I don't know if this is something I want to use, but I guess we'll try it. So I'm just going to go in with the middle contour shade. I feel like the darker shade would be good for bronzer. I'm just going to dip this brush in there. I haven't contoured my cheeks in so long. Just going to lightly... Okay, this brush isn't too bad. I think with it being flimsy, it helps you lightly put on product and not be like overhand. Wait, what am I trying to say? So I think with this brush being like super flimsy, it helps to like lightly apply the product in case you have a heavy hand, which I normally do. I'm just gonna apply a little bit more. Ooh. I was actually going to toss this brush, but maybe not anymore. Let's do... Okay, I can't use it to contour that with. So this is like only good for cheeks. I'm just going to take my bronzer brush, this is the Morphe E3, and dip in there. And use that to contour my jaw. And then I'm going to use the same brush and do around the hairline. I like this contour shade. It's a gray undertone, which is perfect to create those shadows. I really am curious to see how it's gonna look as a nose contour though, because I like it for the cheeks. That looked nice. So I'm gonna switch to this little brush I've been using to contour my nose, and it's, I don't know, it came in like a Boxy Charm. I think it's like a fluffy angled crease brush, but I've been using it for my nose. So I'm just gonna dip in there. This is the true test right here, I think. Alright, I'm a little crazy. I'm gonna have to blend that out. But it looks good. I'm gonna do my lip. I always do my Cupid's bow and then right underneath. Okay, I really like this contour shade, even though I went crazy, so I'm gonna have to blend that out for sure. But let's try the lightest shade, and I'm gonna use that just to kind of like buff around my nose contour. So I'm taking this Morphe M505. It's kind of got like a tapered into it, but it's fluffy, so I'm just gonna dip in there. Ooh, that's pretty pigmented. You can see it on the brush. And I'm just gonna use this to, oh, okay, buff out those lines. I could have used that for an under eye powder because it's bright. And then a little bit down the center of my nose. And then I think I'm going to use this to set my T-zone since we set the rest of that powder. Oh, this is brightening. Yes. Okay, I could have totally used that instead. Okay, I definitely like this. Let's go ahead and swatch the darker one that I think would be perfect. This is it right there. That's super pigmented. I think it would be good for bronzer, but I would like to keep this as a contour shade so that way it'll last longer. But I do think if you wanted to use it as a bronzer, you could. This is more of like a warm tone contour shade though. That would be good for deeper skin tones. For bronzer, okay, so I already know I don't really like this. I feel like I'm the only one in the entire world that does not like this bronzer, but this is the Butter bronzer, and it's in the shade Bronzer. I think they came out with a couple of other bronzer shades, but I don't really like this. Like, I like the smell of it, but I feel like every time I've tried to use it, it's patchy, like on my skin. So let's see. I don't know why, I just feel like it's always patchy on me. Maybe I just wasn't like setting my foundation enough to where it was just like kind of dragging, but I just feel like I've never really liked it. A little bit in the hairline. Okay, see, now I don't really mind it, but before I'm just like, pass. It literally has been sitting in my drawer for months and I don't ever grab it. Weird. Isn't it crazy how like you could use something a lot and you don't like it? Like, for instance, I don't like this. Like, well, I haven't liked it and then now it looks good. So that's just like so weird to me when that happens. Oh my gosh, I've got to blend out that. Oh, I went a little crazy with that contour shade. It's definitely pigmented. I'm just gonna go over everything so far with my stippling brush. This so far is the best stippling brush I've ever used. It's from Makeup Academy. I got it at CVS and it looks like I need to clean it because it just left shimmer on my face. Cool. Next I have, well, we'll save that. I have 3 different blushes. I believe I bought, let me see the names of these. Natural Glow. Okay, so I'm pretty sure these 2 shades right here are the first 2 shades that they launched. And then this other one is like a fairly new shade. So this first shade right here is called Plum Rose. It says it has Muru. Oh my god. Butter blush. Let's see, Brazilian butter blend. So I'm assuming it's probably the same formula as the bronzer. On the back it says ultra luxurious formula infused with Muru butter delivers a radiant Brazilian goddess glow. Moisturizing Wonder features ultra refined pearl and soft focus pigments that smooth skin texture, brighten skin tone, and deliver a gorgeous blushing glow. I'm having a hard time reading today. Incredibly soft and ultra creamy texture combines the best features of a powder and a cream blush. So this shade, I'm gonna hold it back here because I feel like you can actually see the shade the farther I hold it away from the light, and when I do this, it kind of blows it out. This looks more of like a natural shade. Like, I don't think that's going to show up. And it smells like the bronzer. I like these little... Then you get like a weird spongy brush on the other side. So this is probably the shade that I'm going to use. This is in the shade Vintage Rouge. And that's what this one looks like. These packages are really cute. So that's this one. I think this is one I'm going to use, and then I want to use this one as kind of like a blush topper. This one's in the shade Natural Glow. So we have this one right here. Yeah, this one has a little bit of a sheen to it, so I think it's going to look really pretty as a blush topper. I haven't tried any of these blushes, so let's go ahead and go in with the shade Vintage Rouge. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm using my Morphe E4. Okay, it's a little more pigmented than I thought it was gonna be. So maybe that other one would have worked. Oh, that's pretty. It's like a, how would you describe this? Like a light pink? Rosy shade? I think this would be a good shade for any kind of eye look. Then I'm gonna take the Natural Glow shade, and I'm going to focus this mainly on the apples of my cheeks and then blend backwards. Because I've noticed whenever I like add highlight to the apples of my cheeks, it just kind of lifts my cheeks, and I really like how that looks. Ooh. That's really pretty. Ooh, you guys. This was supposed to be like a best of Physicians Formula, and like I literally like everything. Oh my god. I'm supposed to be helping you guys save money, not make you go out and buy everything. For highlighter, I actually have 3 different things. The first one I'm going to show you is this one right here, and this is the Powder Palette Mineral Glow Pearls Translucent Pearl. So this is what it looks like. I believe there is like one other shade of this, and then you have a mirror, and then there was a little brush. So I'm just going to swatch this because I want to try these other ones I haven't used. So this one is more of a natural looking highlight. It reminds me of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. So if you wanted more of like a glow from within, or a natural glow that didn't have any sparkles in it, or glitter, this would be really good for you. I do like this. So this next highlighter I've never tried before. This is the Cream to Powder highlighter in the shade Pearl. I believe this is the lightest shade that they offer, and there are a few shades of these new highlighters. It says the ultra luxurious and multi-dimensional cream to powder highlighter infused with that muru butter, oh my god, delivers a radiant Brazilian goddess glow. Lightweight, one swipe, blendable coverage. Features ultra refined pearls, soft focused pigments that smooth skin texture, brighten skin tone, and deliver a gorgeous highlighting finish. So unlike the blushes, this one actually twists off, and this is what it looks like right here. This reminds me of like the ColourPop things. Do I want to use this? I kind of want to use this other thing. Ooh, this feels wet. Okay, so I'm not going to be using this today. This really does remind me of the Super Shock highlighters from ColourPop. It's metallic. It's really pretty. It looks like there's a little bit of like a pink in it though. It's really pretty. This would be like a really pretty like natural metallic glow. Like this one is like glow from within, and this is like glow from within metallic. Ooh, both are like really pretty. But I really want to try this guy. This has been out for a while, and this is the Highlight and Contour Palette Bronze Booster Luminous Glow. So it's the exact same thing as the Matte Contour and Highlight Palette, but all highlighters. Tell me this doesn't look like the first Jaclyn Hill collab with Becca, the holiday palette. It was like Pearl, Champagne Pop, and Topaz. I still have it. I should totally dig it out. This is probably a dupe for that. I'm gonna get it out so we can test it. Because I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9% sure you cannot buy that holiday palette anymore unless you buy it used, eBay, like one of those. So how awesome would that be if this was a dupe? Because if you missed out on that, you could get this, and this is way cheaper. Do you guys remember this? It has to be a dupe. It has to be. Like, I'm not gonna even take no for an answer. This is crazy. Look at this. You guys, this is totally a dupe for this. Let's swatch them. This one also comes with that little brush, which I'm not going to open. So I'm going to swatch the lightest shade right here, and then I'm going to swatch the lightest shade. Oh, this one feels really like powdery though. So I'm doing Pearl from the Jaclyn Hill Holiday palette, and then the lightest shade in that. Just by looking at the finger swatches, I feel like the Physicians Formula one is more of like a cream shade, and Pearl is like white. So let's see. So as you can see, Physicians Formula is a little bit more pigmented, but like that's probably like the closest dupe I have ever seen for Pearl. So Pearl, Physicians Formula. Let's go ahead and do this middle shade. Let's see if this is a dupe for Champagne Pop. I mean, it's pretty close, but I feel like Champagne Pop is a little bit more peachy and the Physicians Formula is a little bit more gold. They're pretty dang close. So Physicians Formula and Becca. So this one's a little bit more peachy and this one's a little bit more gold, but like... And then the last one I'm going to swatch is the darker shade from this palette. And then we're going to do Topaz from this palette. Or I'm sorry, this is Blushed Copper. I think I've called it Topaz like this whole time. You guys, I can't even tell a freaking difference between these two. I say we have a pretty, this is probably the closest dupe out of everything, anything that you could buy, especially with the way it's like laid out. Like how often do companies come out with 3 shades that look exactly like this in a row, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead and take this middle shade. I'm gonna use that for a highlight today. I might mix a little bit of the white shade too, but I'm gonna try the gold shade first. I feel like it would go in with the blush that we used for a blush topper. Oh, this is so pretty. It does feel like kind of chunky though. I mean, it's really pretty, but like if you press too hard in here, you're getting chunks off. It could be my brush too. Like maybe I need a softer brush. Wow. So I took a little bit of the Super Pearl shade and it's like intense. I'm just gonna hit that on the high point because I want to keep the gold. Oh, I got way too much. No, I wanted to keep it all gold and now I've got silver. Dang it. Let's go back in with the gold shade. Maybe we can cover it up. Well, that's my bad, but it's still pretty. I'm going to take my Kylie palette. This is the original bronze palette. And I'm just going to take these 2 like brown tan shades. And I'm just going to run that in my crease real quick. Just so we can have a color in there. I still need to fill in my brows. So now I'm just going to take my MAC 242. Pick up some of that shade and just put it on my lid. It would probably look better if I used my finger or some Fix Plus, but that's a really pretty eyeshadow shade. Or it's a really pretty shade to use as eyeshadow, I guess is what I'm saying. I kind of want to use, I'm going to use my pinky. Just see. Oh yeah, you definitely shows up more with a finger, which I knew that would happen. It's just so hard to do anything with acrylics. I might just go ahead and run a little bit of that bronzy shade in the crease anyways, just for fun. I'm going to take this Morphe E17 and run some of that in the crease. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly fill in my brows off camera and then I'll be right back. We have 2 more things to test. So actually I have 3 things to test out. I told you guys 2 before I went and did my brows, but I found another one. This is the Sexy Booster. It's the Cat Eye Collection Liquid Eyeliner in Ultra Black. It has this cute little like heel on it. I don't really wear a lot of eyeliner. Ooh. It's really patchy. I might not even attempt to use this. I'm just gonna do like a straight line. I'm not gonna do a wing or anything. It's not horrible, but I feel like I've tried better for sure. So it's not super black, like I can still see the eyeshadow through it. I'm gonna see if I can like build it up. No, you can't. It does dry matte, but I can still see my eyeshadow underneath it. So while that dries, let's go ahead and try this. This is the Insta Ready Setting Spray. Looks like huge tube. It says lightweight formula that wakes up the skin and finishes makeup, keeping it looking perfect and fresh throughout the day. Triple threat spray, ideal for all skin types, instantly absorbs and can be used as skin prep, setting spray, or misting spray. But let's go ahead and try this before I apply some mascara. So this is a huge bottle. What's the mister like? Oh, okay. It has a good mister. I feel like I have to get really close to my face, like I can't really feel it. Good mister though. So while that setting spray dries, I'm just gonna apply some lip liner. I'm using my Buxom Plump Line Lip Liner in the shade Hush Hush. So now I'm just gonna curl my lashes and add a little bit of mascara. I guess I still have to do my lower lash line too, huh? My lashes suck now because I had lash extensions for a few months and then my lashes just don't hold a curl anymore, but I'm getting lashes back on in like a week, so thank goodness. So the last thing we have to try out is the Healthy Lip Velvet Finish. This also reminds me of the Jaclyn Hill collab with Gerard like a long time ago. I think it was called Rosewood? Was it called Rosewood? It was Rose something, I think. This is in the shade Tulip, I believe. Ooh, and it's like a pointed doe foot. That's the shade right there. What a pretty shade. It smells like if you were grilling outside. I really like this applicator. Like it seriously smells like, you know when you go on a walk and you can smell somebody grilling? That's what it smells like to me. That's such a pretty shade. I want to go get like some nude shades. So that's everything from my Physicians Formula collection. So let's go back over everything and I'll let you guys know like my final thoughts. I'm just gonna pick things up just randomly. So the first thing we have here is the Highlight Trio. Mine is that it's kind of a chunky powder. The pigment is there, and if you've always wanted to try like Becca highlights, or if you couldn't get your hands on this like holiday palette, oh my gosh, you have to go pick this up. You guys saw the swatches. It's probably the closest dupes I've ever seen. I wonder if anybody else has noticed that, or if it's just me. I don't know. I do think this is worth the money. This is a really pretty eyeshadow shade if you're like more of a fair skin tone. But I wonder if in the summertime, if it would be pretty as like a bronzer topper. I don't know. I like this. Then we have the Spotlight Primer. I love this. I think it's a dupe for the Backlight Primer. Even though this one's a little bit more sticky and tacky than this, but I really like this too. Then we have the Contour Palette. I really like this too. Oh my gosh. I think this did a really good job like brightening up the center of my face, and it kind of helped me like carve out my nose contour. This is a really pretty contour shade. I really like it. I think this would be a really pretty bronzer shade, or for deeper skin tones, a contour shade. Although these are really pigmented, so with a light hand, I feel like this palette would last quite a long time. Then we have these 3 blushes right here. This one in Vintage Rouge is the one that I used. I recommend this one. And then The other one I used as a blush topper, which is Natural Glow. I recommend this too. The one that I'd probably pass on is the Plum Rose. I don't feel like it would suit many skin tones unless you were really, really fair. I just don't feel like that would show up. I don't know, because I swatched it and it doesn't really look like much. Even when I put it on my hand, you can't really see it, so I would probably pass on the shade. Then we have the Translucent Pearl Highlight. Like I said, if you're looking for a natural glow, I would definitely check this out. It reminds me so much of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders, and those are really expensive. So if you want like a good dupe alternative, this would be your guy. Then we have the Butter Highlighter. I really wanted to try this out, but I feel like I'm just a little bit too tan right now for this. I feel like this would look more complimentary on fair, lighter skin tones, but the formula of this feels really good, and it was like a metallic natural highlight. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to bring attention to texture, if that makes sense. It doesn't look like it's gonna make your texture like stick out. For some reason, I cannot think of how I want to say that right now. Anyways, so yes, I want to go get a darker shade of this, maybe like a light gold or something. Then we have this. This is the Insta Ready Full Coverage Concealer. This might be like my favorite thing from everything. Okay, I like everything, but this might be my favorite because I love concealer. I didn't really like the sponge thing, but it came with it for free, so. Then we have the Butter Bronzer. I don't know, I'm telling you, when this first came out, I literally have not liked it since it came out. But then I put it on today and it looks fine. So maybe it just doesn't work with some foundations. Like, maybe this just doesn't work with like dewier foundations because maybe it just sticks. I don't know, but like my thoughts have changed on this. I actually do like this, but I do want to get like a darker shade because like I said, I just have this shade Bronzer. I would be interested in getting a darker shade and a lighter shade for when I'm more fair. My least favorite thing is the eyeliner, the Sexy Booster, mainly because I don't do well with felt tips. It's not bad, but you can definitely still see like through it. Like, I can see the eyeshadow through it, so I would definitely pass on this. What else do we have? Then we have the Healthy Lip Velvet Finish. Did this dry down? Oh, so it does transfer, so I guess it isn't transfer proof, but this shade is gorgeous. Then we have the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. Like I said, I did do a whole video testing out this foundation and a wear test, so I'll link that in the description box if you want to check it out. This is like my new favorite foundation, and I do have dry skin, dry to normal. So if you're like the same skin type, I recommend this. I believe this is the last thing we tried out. This is the Insta Ready Setting Spray. I really like the mister, really good mister, and it kind of reminds me of the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. So let me know if you've tried this and the Urban Decay one, and let me know if you guys think those are dupes, because that's what this reminds me of. Okay guys, so that's everything from my best and worst of Physicians Formula. I know I don't have like everything from them, but from my collection, I know it wasn't really very helpful because I pretty much told you to buy everything except for the eyeliner, so I'm sorry. But I really do like everything. I can't help it. So let me know if you guys would be interested in me doing more of these videos, like the best and worst of hard candy, best and worst of Wet n Wild, like the affordable brands, and then maybe like after I do a few like drugstore, I could start going through best and worst of higher end brands, but I could start off with like drugstore brands right now. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that in the comments below. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will definitely do more. And please subscribe on your way out if you would like to see more of me, and I will see you guys in my next video.